French Country Fall Decor, faded caramel walls and Toile de Jouy. Ever walked into a room and felt like it just wrapped you in a cashmere blanket? That's the exact feeling the Loire Valley Autumn theme brings to a French country home. Picture faded caramel Venetian plaster on the walls with a soft satin gleam, and suddenly the whole space feels expensive but not stuffy. We're layering in a heavyweight linen Toile de Jouy featuring chestnut brown hunting scenes, which sounds formal but reads incredibly cozy. Then comes burnt orange velvet so plush you'll want to nap on it, plus black and cream buffalo check to keep the look grounded. Add a polished copper tray piled with real mini pumpkins in orange and green, and you've got autumn carrying the whole vignette. Antique leather books with warm brown and gold spines sit nearby, catching the light like a well-loved library shelf. This isn't your typical pumpkin spice seasonal decor. It's rooted in French architecture and countryside texture. In this video, I'll walk you through each room, from entryway to bathroom, with specific materials and color moves. Grab a cup of something warm, and let's get into these Loire Valley Autumn design ideas. Hello, I'm Flora. Welcome to FreshCo Graphics. Today we're stepping into the warm, rustic world of the French country home. A style that finds luxury in simplicity and comfort in every sunlit corner. If you love spaces that feel like a gentle embrace, don't forget to subscribe so we can keep exploring beauty together. Start with the entryway because it sets the mood before anyone even takes off their coat. Your walls will love a coat of Venetian plaster in that faded caramel tone, especially when the satin finish catches light from a small table lamp. A linen Toile de Jouy curtain, or a framed panel of that chestnut brown hunting scene works perfectly right where guests can pause and admire it. On a narrow console, set a polished copper tray with 3 or 4 real mini pumpkins, some vivid orange, some still green. Underneath, slide a bench upholstered in burnt orange velvet, so the seat becomes a moment of soft luxury. Toss a black and cream buffalo check pillow onto that bench to add a rustic edge without demanding the spotlight. A short stack of antique leather books in brown and gold can anchor the tray or sit beside a small brass lamp. Honestly, this entryway now says warm welcome before you've even said hello. Imagine sinking into a burnt orange velvet armchair, while the autumn light hits your faded caramel walls. That satin Venetian plaster will bounce the glow around, making the room feel like late afternoon in the Loire Valley. Ever noticed how a single rich texture can change the whole mood of a seating area? For the main sofa, use a heavyweight linen in that chestnut brown Toile de Jouy hunting scene, but maybe only on the back cushions or a single accent chair so it doesn't overwhelm. Next, layer in black and cream buffalo check through a throw blanket or a pair of pillows to break up all the warm tones. Place a polished copper tray on the ottoman, then stack it with antique leather books and a few mini pumpkins. Don't forget a floor lamp with a soft linen shade to keep the lighting low and flattering against the plaster. Meanwhile, a dark wood coffee table with a slightly worn finish will balance the velvet and toile nicely. Try adding a small side table in reclaimed oak to echo the rustic French country vibe, without competing with the main pieces. On that side table, set a tiny copper cup filled with dried wheat or a single green pumpkin for an unexpected pop. Throw in one more buffalo check pillow, this time in a smaller scale, to keep the pattern from feeling too repetitive. Consider draping a burnt orange velvet throw over the arm of the sofa, so the texture invites someone to sit down. The faded caramel walls will pick up every warm tone, especially if you keep the curtains sheer enough to let daylight filter through. After dark, switch on the floor lamp and watch the satin plaster shimmer like a quiet evening by the river. You might even add a low bench under the window with a Toile de Jouy cushion for extra seating that doubles as a focal point. Honestly, this room becomes a place where you actually want to stay, not just pass through. Last autumn, I swapped my bedroom curtains for heavyweight linen Toile de Jouy in chestnut brown, and the whole room instantly felt more grounded. Keep the walls in that faded caramel Venetian plaster, but go a touch lighter on the satin polish here, so it feels restful. Introduce burnt orange velvet on a bench at the foot of the bed, or on a pair of reading pillows. Use black and cream buffalo check for the duvet cover, or a folded throw to give your eyes a crisp place to land. Set a polished copper tray on the nightstand with a small stack of antique leather books and one green mini pumpkin for contrast. Hang a simple oil painting in a gilded brown frame above the headboard, maybe a landscape with autumnal trees. Add warm brass sconces on either side of the bed to make the Venetian plaster glow after dark. Now think about the floor. A faded oriental rug with terracotta and cream tones would anchor the space softly underfoot. On the bench, fold a heavyweight linen throw in the toile print, so the pattern appears again without shouting. You might also swap standard pillowcases for a set in solid burnt orange velvet to echo the bench fabric. For the windows, keep the curtains simple with a blackout lining if you need extra sleep, but let the toile side face inward. A small writing desk in the corner could wear the same reclaimed French oak as the bathroom wainscoting for continuity. Top that desk with a single antique leather book and a tiny brass task lamp to create a quiet reading nook. Don't hide the mini pumpkins on the nightstand. Instead, choose one green one and one orange one to show both autumn stages. At night, the warm brass sconces will cast a gentle glow that makes the Venetian plaster look almost candlelit. Trust me, you'll wake up feeling like you're at a countryside inn, not just at home. Set the dining table before you even worry about the walls, because the table is where this autumn theme really comes alive. Those walls should still wear faded caramel Venetian plaster, its satin sheen picking up candlelight beautifully. Choose dining chairs upholstered in burnt orange velvet to make every seat feel like the best one in the room. Run a black and cream buffalo check runner down the center of the table, instead of a formal tablecloth. Arrange a polished copper tray in the middle. loaded with mini pumpkins in orange and green plus a few sprigs of dried wheat. Stack 2 or 3 antique leather books with brown and gold spines beside the tray, then top them with a small copper candle holder. Use heavyweight linen napkins in that chestnut brown Toile de Jouy print, folded simply at each place setting. For a bit of drama, hang a wrought iron chandelier with candle-style bulbs above the table to catch the plaster's glow. Along one wall, place a long reclaimed oak sideboard to hold extra serving dishes, and a few more decorative autumn pieces. On that sideboard, lean a framed Toile de Jouy hunting scene against the wall rather than hanging it for a relaxed, collected look. Add 2 small table lamps with cream linen shades on either end of the sideboard to warm the corners during dinner. When setting each plate, choose simple cream stoneware that doesn't compete with the rich fabrics and copper accents. Tuck a sprig of dried wheat under each fork or on top of the napkin for a tiny, organic touch that guests will notice. Don't be afraid to mix the buffalo check runner with a solid burnt orange table runner layered underneath for extra depth. Once the meal winds down, leave the candles burning low so the room feels like a French country inn at harvest time. After one dinner here, your guests will assume you secretly hired a French interior designer. Wondering how to make a kitchen feel like a French country farmhouse without a full renovation? Paint the upper walls in Venetian plaster with a faded caramel tone and a satin finish, so even the cooking zone feels softly dressed. For the lower half and backsplash, go with zellige tile in faded terracotta and cream, installed to half height for that handmade, slightly uneven charm. Keep the upper cabinets simple, maybe a warm cream or raw oak, so the plaster and tile remain the main event. Add a few open shelves and style them with a polished copper tray, a stack of antique leather books, and 1 mini pumpkin or 2. Bring in burnt orange velvet through a small cushion on a breakfast nook or a curtain at the window if the layout allows. Use black and cream buffalo check for dish towels or a cafe curtain so the pattern stays useful but not fussy. Next, swap out standard cabinet hardware for oil-rubbed bronze or aged brass pulls to reinforce the old-world French feel. If you have an island, paint its base in a muted cream, and add a reclaimed oak countertop for a soft contrast against the zellige tile. Hang a single copper pot rack above the island or a stretch of counter, then display a few well-loved pots and pans as functional decor. On the open shelves, lean a small Toile de Jouy plate against the wall, so the hunting scene appears in an unexpected spot. Tuck a few sprigs of dried lavender or rosemary into a small copper cup near the sink for a subtle scent that says countryside. Under the cafe curtain, place a narrow wooden bench with a burnt orange velvet cushion to create a spot for morning coffee. Don't let the buffalo check stop at the towels. A small table runner on the kitchen table can tie the whole room together. At night, turn on under-cabinet lighting and watch the zellige tile's uneven glaze catch every warm shadow. This kitchen will feel like it has been gathering patina for decades, even if you painted it last weekend. Let's talk about the bathroom, because this is where the Loire Valley theme can surprise you. In the dry zone, install reclaimed French oak wainscoting on the lower half of the walls and Venetian plaster in faded caramel on the upper half. That oak brings an aged, warm texture, while the satin plaster above keeps the room from feeling dark. In the wet zone, switch the lower half to hand-glazed ceramic tile in faded terracotta and cream, then carry the same faded caramel plaster above. The shift between wood and tile feels intentional, not mismatched, especially when the tones share that muted autumn range. Hang a small linen Toile de Jouy curtain or a framed piece on the dry wall, using the chestnut brown print as a subtle nod to the rest of the house. Set a polished copper tray on the vanity with a tiny green pumpkin and a single antique leather book for an unexpected moment. Next, choose a round mirror with an aged brass or dark bronze frame to soften all the straight lines of the wainscoting. Install a small wall-mounted shelf in reclaimed oak to hold a copper cup with a toothbrush or a few sprigs of dried eucalyptus. For the vanity, paint it a warm cream and add a honed soapstone or dark wood countertop to ground the space. Bring in burnt orange velvet through a small upholstered stool tucked beside the vanity, which feels luxurious but still practical. Use black in-cream buffalo check for a hand towel or a folded bath sheet on the shelf, so the pattern appears quietly. In the shower area, keep the hand-glazed ceramic tile going up to about chest height, then let the faded caramel plaster take over above. Add a small teak bench in the wet zone, and set a single green pumpkin on it for an autumn touch that can handle humidity. After a long day, that mix of oak, tile, and soft plaster will make the bathroom feel like a private spa in an old French inn. Even your morning routine will feel a little more like a countryside escape.